get you some. Oh, yeah. Mate, it's lucky she can cook. Wow!
G'day lovelies, welcome back. Alrighty, today we're going to be doing chicken and chups. I thought my Kiwi mates might really like this one. So the reason I call them chups is that their chips made completely different and they're really chunky, so I've just always called them chups. So today there's going to be no measurements, it's just going to be however many people you got is however much you make for them. So this is just basically trying to give you a few ideas of how to just do things a little bit different. And this is one of Harley's favourite meals. So first of all, I've got just a little bit over a kilo of chicken breast. I don't need that much, that's just what I've got. First of all, get the chicken ready. Oh, look at that. They left the tender on for us this time. The last few times I've got it, they've taken the tender off. I mean, how rude. Alright, so I'll cut that off. Okay, so what I'll do is put all the tenders on a different plate. And then with the chicken itself, what I try and do is I'll just take this top bit off to make it like roughly all the same thickness. So it's just basically taking the round bit off the top. Everything I cut off of here I'll be putting on the tender plate unless it's fat. Okay, once I've got it flattened out, I like just to take the end off, and that will go on that plate as well. Okay, I'm going to push down with my hand and I'm going to insert into the chicken roughly in the middle. Cut a slit across the top first. Alright, and then I'm going to just guide myself down it in the middle, cut across to one edge, but not obviously the edge. Turn the knife around, guide it through the middle and cut the other side almost to the edge. Once we've done that, we've got a huge pocket. Oh, that just doesn't look right! Okay, so here's the extra bits. So as you can see, there's going to be a fair bit there when I crumb them up anyway. So what I'll do is I'll crumb them up separate and then I'll stick it in the fridge and I'll either cook it up tomorrow and make sandwiches or rolls or wraps with it or something like that. Or if you've got a big family and say you've got the 3 adults for the 3 big pieces, all the kids absolutely love just the crumb chicken on its own anyway. So you can crumble that up and still feed the whole family in one go if you want. Okay, so I've got the 3 fillets, so I'm just going to get some ham ready. Alright, now you can use any cheese you want for this, but I love using this dairy cheddar or the Kraft cheddar. They're both the same thing, made by the same people. This one's from Coles and Woolies, I think, and the Kraft one you get from IGAs and Foodlands. You find them on the shelf right near where all your Vegemites and peanut pastes are. Alright, so I'm going to use this one today, but you can use any cheese you want in any form you want. You just shove it in there. If you've got mozzarella or something, of course, that would be nice, but I don't know why. I absolutely love this one. Okay, so I'll try with a thinner slice of cheese first, and I'll just do 1 ham. Alright, I'm going to wrap the cheese in the ham. Doesn't matter what sort of cheese, you just do the same thing. Wrap the ham in the cheese, whatever. Okay, get me chicken. Alright, I'm going to stuff that into it. So when you're cutting it, if you've got a hole on the other side, I'll just show you in a sec. Alright, so stuff that in there beautifully. So if you turn it over, sometimes you've got all holes through here because of where the thing was. But wrapping it in the ham, the cheese won't come out. It won't come out anyway because we're going to crumb them. But yeah, that's how I love to do them. Now for the breadcrumbs, today I'm using homemade ones. I have got a video up there on how to make homemade breadcrumbs. It's a very old video, I'm even too scared to look at it, but I'll whack it up at the end, so if you need to know how to make your own homemade ones, I'm sure it'll tell you properly in that. So I'm going to use them today, and what I worked out a while ago is if you get yourself a small oven tray and crumb them in there, it stops it going everywhere. So I used to always do it on a plate and half the crumbs will be all on the outside of the plate on the bench and there'll be hardly anything left in it. And I worked out one day accidentally that doing it this way is brilliant. How many you use? Well, I always have to add more, but I'd rather add more than have to waste a lot. Same with the milk and egg. I usually do less and then just have to add more if I want. Alright, so crumbs are ready, so I'm just going to crack a couple of eggs into a nice big bowl. And I'm just going to add milk. It doesn't matter how much or how less. So I reckon more's better. So if you don't have eggs, you can actually crumb them with just milk. What I would do is I would crumb them and then I would dip them back in the milk and re-crumb them again. So you crumb them a couple of times. And just whisk that through. Alrighty, into the milk mix. Soak it. Crumbs. Once they're crumbed, onto a plate they go. Oh my god, these homemade breadcrumbs, I'll tell you what, they are freaking amazing. They turn anything into something awesome, especially things like crumb chops and that. Oh, now I'm just going to crumble the little ones for tomorrow. Alrighty, once we've crumbed all those bad boys up, I'm going to stick some Glad wrap over them and whack them in the fridge till we need them. Alrighty, now for the chops. So I'm serving 2.5 tonight, so I've just grabbed 6 spuds. I reckon that'll do. I'm going to peel them and wash them. Alright, once we've done that, we want to cut them in bite-sized pieces. My son's got a big mouth. I don't know where he got that from. Okay, so we just want to chop them up into bite-sized pieces like that. Once we've done that, we want to stick them in a pot of water, stick them on the stove top, bring it up to a boil. Once they start to boil, turn it down to a simmer. They literally take not even, maybe about 5 minutes. We want them soft, but we don't want them soggy, okay? We want them just cooked. As soon as they're just cooked, tip them straight out into a strainer, leave them sitting in the strainer to dry out. Alright, while that's cooking, I'm going to get some carrots ready. So tonight I'm going to make some honey carrots with it. And I've got this thing, I've never used it before. Glenn sent it to me from his son. So let's give it a crack. Ooh, I didn't think it was going to be sharp. Glenn, if you're watching this, can you just put down below where you got this from? Because this is awesome. There we go, fancy carrots, just like that. Aww. Thank you, Glenn's son. That's freaking awesome. I'm going to use that for everything. I'll tell you what, that's probably sharper than my knives. Alright, there's 3 of us, so I have done 3 carrots. Put some water in there. I'm just going to stick, well, let's just say a tablespoon of honey. And I'll stick them on the stovetop until we're ready to cook them. I've got some frozen corn, so I'll just stick some water in that and I'll cook that up after as well. So I forgot to say, I've also chopped up half an onion. Alright, I love making these in my cast iron frying pan, but if you don't have a cast iron frying pan, it doesn't matter, honestly. Good sprinkle of oil. I like using olive oil, but you can use any oil you want. Couple of chunks of butter. The butter stops the oil from burning. In goes our spuds. Chuck our half an onion on. Now, if you wanted to just do these chops as a meal, you could also chop up some bacon and anything else you wanted and throw that all in at this stage as well. Now we want it on a nice decent heat. Mate, there is just hair everywhere today. I can't handle it. I've got a hell hairy family. Good bit of salt. Good bit of cracked pepper. If you like chicken salt, get some of that into you. These are also brilliant to get all prepared like that and whack them on the barbie as well. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to basically, like you would if you're going to put thin slice of potato on a barbie and you want them that beautiful barbied outside, crunchy, yummy. That's what we're doing here. So I'll leave them for a few minutes to get really crunchy. So it's important to make sure your pan's hot enough first. So I've under fried them a little bit because I've got to chuck them in the oven while I cook everything now. Basically, make sure your frying pan is really hot first. I'm so busy always worried about the damn cameras and stuff that I actually can't concentrate on what's important, and that's cooking. So make sure your frying pan or your barbecue top is very hot first. Then it will only take literally 10 minutes flicking them all the time. Now we're going to shallow fry, which means we cover the bottom in oil. So I'm using olive oil. but you can use any oil you've got. So you want enough to coat the bottom, and basically halfway through cooking you might have to add a bit more just before you turn them over. So because my kitchen's all crooked and I'm only going to cook 2 because they're huge, I'll go halves my granddaughter in one. I'm just going to cook 2 down this end. So they're massive, but because they're stuffed, there's an even amount of chicken on either side, so they're really good to cook. Alright, we want it on a decent heat. You can always turn it down after you've browned them really, really well. Alright, give them a really good cook on both sides. Add a little bit of oil. You've got to, when they're cooked through, if you have to, cut one to see if they're cooked through. You want to put them straight on a plate with paper towel. Alrighty, chickens are cooked. Oh, look at that beautiful colour from those homemade crumbs. Alrighty, drain the corn. So I'm just going to get a couple of chunks of butter and chuck them in there. Gently stir it around until it's all melted all over it. Okay, I've drained the carrots. I'm going to sprinkle some chopped dry parsley. And I am going to drizzle some honey. Or about that much. And I'm just going to gently mix that through. So I'll just chop one of these in half first so you can see. How they look on the inside. Oh, damn camera. I hope you can see a little bit. Anyway, they cook through absolutely beautiful. They're so tender when you stuff them like that. Alright, let's do this. Chops. Oh, the smell of them with that onion in them. Oh, mate. Got to whack the chicken on there. Alright, it might look pink in that, in there. It's absolutely not. It's just the ham in there is probably giving it the effect. Honeyed carrots. Now, you can always make a gravy or a cheese sauce to go with it. But honestly, everything on its own tastes so amazing. You just don't need anything. And some beautiful buttered corn. Well, there you have it, lovelies. What a cracker of an Aussie meal, eh? Give it a crack. You won't be disappointed. Your whole family will love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome night. I'll see you soon. Toodles.